The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back at it again. We're broadcasting from the Zoe Advertising Studios, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement. You have found The Local Show, or otherwise known as The Steve Show.
Oh my gosh, here you go again. Yeah.
All the success.
If I wasn't here, no one would notice. You're the guy who was working in radio when you were 15 years old.
Yes, and it served me well.
It has.
Yeah.
It has.
One step away from a sign in a corner. Right now, it's our pleasure to talk to someone much more successful. Peter C. Schaefer is the Bankruptcy Law Office owner, right? You own it?
I am, yes.
Okay, great. Peter, are you homegrown? Are you a local guy?
I am. I grew up in Liverpool.
Oh, nice.
I went to Syracuse University, went to the law school at Syracuse.
Did you?
Moved away for about a year to go to Texas, kind of spread my wings.
Right.
After a couple of years, realized that I wanted to land here in Syracuse, so came back and have been here ever since.
Wow. So you were under Dean Braveman at the time?
I was.
Was he over there?
Yeah, that takes me way back.
Yeah. My mom was the admin over there, Kathy Soccocio. She was there for a long time, and I was going to SU at that time. So
we probably ran into each other without knowing it.
Yeah.
Except I think I've got a couple of years on you.
Yeah, I don't know. Were you in the early 80s?
I was.
Yeah, see, so I was 81, 82, 83.
You look good.
And that's all. Thank you. Well, you look good.
So how do I look? Never mind.
Well, all right. You look like an old man.
Yeah, right. Fine.
You know what I used to love to do was go to lunch with my mom, and we go over to Sutter's, and they had mushroom caps, deep fried mushroom caps.
Those sound good.
That over at Sutter's, man.
Well, what I've been reading about mushrooms over in Australia.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd be a little resistant to having to talk mushrooms.
Yeah. You never know. You got to make sure you get the good ones.
Yes.
Did you practice? Did you go into bankruptcy law immediately, or did you practice as a general attorney? How did you get there?
You know, when you get out of law school, you really you go to your first job, and that's what you become. And so I worked for the city of Syracuse. Mm-hmm. I was with the Corporation Counsel's office.
Okay.
So we did municipal law, which was okay, but it wasn't really my calling. I left there and had my own practice. And then when you go on your own, you do everything. Because you don't have enough of a client base to do any particular area. So you just do anything that comes in, and you learn you'll learn about how to be a lawyer.
Right. Okay, there you go.
And I did that until 1991. Probably 2005. I was a general practitioner. Mm-hmm. And then I decided I needed to focus on something. Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to be a jack of all trades, master of nothing.
Correct.
Right.
And, that gets old pretty quick.
Sure.
So I decided I wanted to be a bankruptcy lawyer because I'm not an adversarial guy. I like to help people. I don't like to fight. So
and you're a lawyer that doesn't like that.
So
okay.
Isn't an oxymoron? Like a lawyer that doesn't like to fight. So I found a field where it's somewhat math background, and which I have, and I'm good at that, and dealing with people and helping people. Right. And I enjoy that. I get a lot of satisfaction out of it. I think I can make people feel pretty comfortable when they come to me, because most of the time they're not in a great place.
Everything is not going well, right?
Right.
And what is the main reason why people take a bankruptcy?
Well, I'm happy to say that most people do have a reason why they come to see me.
Okay.
It isn't like, they just spend frivolously and something usually happened.
Sure.
And I find that usually, the culprits are somebody got sick.
Yeah.
Someone lost their job. Yeah. Someone got divorced.
Right.
Something big happened.
It wasn't because they went to the track and lost it all.
Well, that happens sometimes also.
Okay. That can happen. But
sometimes I feel like my ad must be running at the turning stone, because I do get a lot of gamblers.
That's funny.
But it makes me feel good that I deal with good people. They have good intentions. Sometimes they try other avenues like debt consolidation or repaying their loans. Right. And when that doesn't work, they come to me and I help them.
Your process is probably somewhat reproducible. I mean, so inside, if someone has a problem, you say, okay, you either do this or this, and then this happens. And I mean, it's kind of the same thing with different circumstances and people. So it's not like one day you're doing a traffic ticket, the next day an adoption, the next day an estate. So you must get really good at doing one thing, I imagine.
Well, you'd think after doing one thing for about 30 years, you get decent at it. So yes,
there we go.
Yes.
Now let me ask
Hopefully.
Let me ask you this: throughout my life, and like we've established that we're around the same age, it was always like kind of taboo. If you took a bankruptcy, you were ruined for life. You just forget about it. But then you hear about people like a Donald Trump who had many bankruptcies, and and became very successful and still multimillionaire and all that. Is it a foregone conclusion that if you take a bankruptcy, you're sunk, you're never going to get back on your feet?
Well, I think it's a common misperception that you file a bankruptcy and your credit's bad for like 10 years.
Yes.
You can't get a car loan, you can't get a mortgage. Yeah. That's not the way it is anymore.
What is it like now?
You file a bankruptcy. If you do a Chapter 7, you're in and out in about 4 months. So you file a bankruptcy.
Is the 7 the reorganizational thing, or is that what's a 7?
That's a 7 is, they call it a liquidation.
Okay.
But what it really is, you file bankruptcy, I have to list someone's assets because there's a trustee appointed to oversee each bankruptcy. And the trustee, kind of interestingly, he doesn't ask you anything about who you owe money to, why you owe money, how much money do you owe. He doesn't ask that. He doesn't care about your debt, which is odd to me for bankruptcy. Trustees care about assets. They want to see if you have any extra assets in the eyes of the bankruptcy.
Who is that? Is that a judge? Is that a job?
Yeah,
Who's that person?
We have a bankruptcy judge here in Syracuse. Yeah. She does a great job. Just one.
Oh, really?
Her name is Judge Kinsella, Wendy Kinsella, does a great job. And then we have 2 local trustees who have been around. One's about my age, so he's been around a long time. The other one maybe had been a trustee, 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
They're both nice men. They have a job and they oversee bankruptcies. And they look for assets.
Okay.
So my job, a big part of my job is protecting someone's assets when they come to me for a bankruptcy.
Okay.
First thing I talk about, like, what do you own? Do you have a house? Do you have a car? Do you have an inheritance coming?
So they don't have to lose everything to protect themselves. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It's very rare that someone loses anything in a bankruptcy. And I know up front from the first consultation what their situation is, because that's what I ask. What do you own? What do you own? Do you have a problem?
People often come to an attorney. They might not have the funds to pay for you. How do you work that?
Right. If they're bankrupt, they're going to get paid.
If you're ready to go take a bankruptcy,
could be a problem.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the way it's set up helps me in that when I file someone into bankruptcy, I discharge their debts, and it's from the filing date. So any debt you have at the filing date is discharged.
Right.
If a client owed me money and I filed a bankruptcy, I could not get paid.
Right.
And so it's not a really good business model. Filing bankruptcy is not getting paid. Yeah. So I have to get paid prior to filing a bankruptcy. So I take payments.
Okay. So
nice.
if maybe you've had some struggles, some health issues, something that put you in a place, and you want to have a conversation with an attorney that's been there and done that, and this is really the niche you've carved out, you can reach out to Peter at 478-2020. Does that sound like a good number?
That's a great number.
So 478-2020 and have a conversation. He's also got a website, bankruptcylawyercny.com. And there's probably some information there too, right?
Yes, there is.
Well, we appreciate it, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you both.